Let me just make sure that this fits the screen properly. Yes, it does. In a live edit, what's that? We don't want that twice. Oh, not sure how that happened, but let's move it back again. Another cooking video. And why is that not moving? I don't know what's going on here. I guess somehow I tried to make this fit on a vertical screen. And let me just check my chat to make sure it works here. Yeah, we have a good chat. That's nice. Thank you very much. Let's see if we've got. Let's see if we've got Mr. Russian. Hey, thank you for coming by. Once upon a city. Hey, nice to see you. Where did I see you walking a couple days ago? Uh, can't even remember. It wasn't Roncesvalles. Maybe, no, it wasn't Roncesvalles. Maybe it was Roncesvalles. Let's see. Just see if the rest of these things are operational. That's good. Yeah. So we have a chat. Big Uso, super! Wow, you look amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So the as I said, the boat's out of the water, and there's no Wi-Fi there where the boat is, which was I guess is doesn't it makes sense. Pork and beans, yeah, that pork and beans was actually quite interesting. Um, I don't know what I'm doing here with this chicken one pot. So that's the thing I want to edit. And just to talk about a couple other little tiny things that I'd like to share. One is, let's just find. So yesterday, a couple days ago, we talked about AI, and I did food AI images. I'm going to just switch this to the computer and see if we can get enough of a shot here. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's I tried to run this thing over the I'm turning the monitor on its side, and that actually wasn't that bad. It 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 squishes the editing program into small into too small an area. So what we did last time, we talked about a couple things. We talked about this. Where is my salmon steak? So we talked about this salmon steak that is pure AI, and we talked about this woman on a boat that is pure AI. And so I decided I would create a new banner, and it would be a mixture of that boat and the steak. And it turned out kind of interesting. Now, the question I have to myself is, Big Uso, let's give you a wrench. I don't think you're a creator, but what the hell? I'll give you a wrench anyway. So I put those together in Photoshop, and I ended up with, I can't see where it went. I have lost it. I know where I left it. I left it here. So, yeah, banners, banner, YT banner. And we ended up with this image. So it's combination of this steak, which I have also put in as the thumbnail for the thing, and this girl sitting on the front of the boat. And so it's not my boat, and I have no idea who the girl is. And I'm trying to figure out whether anybody cares that the boat isn't mine and the person isn't me and the fish is fake. So we'll see if it gets any uptake in terms of people watching. Anyway, so the other thing that I did based on what we walked through yesterday with the AI pictures and Big Yusuf, you just talked to steak and beans. So I did, where is my beans and Frank's pictures? Where is my beans and Frank's? So they were here at the end. We're going to need this anyway in a minute. So beans and Frank's, trillionaire beans. And what I did is my original thumbnail. Okay, why don't I have it here? We have lost the thumbnail. That is dumb. Where did I leave my... I can't believe I lost my thumbnail for... Okay, so let's find it somewhere else. And this is trillionaire beans. No AI picture. Where did my AI picture of trillionaire beans go? Let's go look at where I'm hiding my thumbnails. Yeah, Photoshop. It would be like Epstein, right? I'm too old for the girl on the boat. So, plus she improves the look of the boat. Me, not so much. But let's just very quickly find this boat food, trillionaire beans. So this is the, not that one. I've lost my trillionaire beans. I can't believe I've lost my trillionaire beans. Okay, I've lost my beans. I changed the thumbnail based on this, and I managed to have misplaced the... So what we want to do today is edit a cooking show about one-pot cooking. So it's sort of based on the Meghan Markle, Martha Stewart. Hey, Eminem. Hey, Flo. Thank you for coming by. The yeah, Eminem. Sorry I missed your radio static live there. I'll have to click faster the next time. Hey, Flo. Thank you for dropping by. I saw you on somebody else's live earlier today. American Adventure America. I believe that's where you were. Okay, what are we looking for? We're looking for food. We're looking for this chicken one pot pasta. So it's a very... Did I leave my steak and my hot dogs here? No, I did not leave my hot dogs here. It's basically one pot with everything in it and just keep adding stuff. Um, the and the concept was neat, and I did one when the internet was upset with Meghan Markle because she ripped off, or she's alleged to have ripped off the um, hey Rems, thank you for coming by. We're not on the boat. We're editing a cooking video. So it's a nice it's a nice concept. You start the pot and you keep adding stuff, and eventually you have pasta without having to clean pots in between and taking stuff out. And this ended up looking very nice because I put in some green and some red, and I'm going to have to improve the color of the green. I do want it to be a little bit greener than this, a little bit too cooked. Although I did take some of these pieces out before they got cooked all the way. But my bigger challenge is this. So I ended up watching somebody's YouTube on how to get rich on YouTube. Maybe it was a TikTok. And one of the points that was made was that YouTube promotes videos that, or dispromotes, downgrades videos that people click away from within 5 seconds. Now, most of my videos, I have the first 5 seconds, the first 10 seconds is the title, and the a shot of the photo of the finished product, and a shot of the cooking of it. But I'm going to try to make 30 seconds of intro without getting into this, because this is pretty boring, right? Here we are cutting up an onion. Whoop-dee. Here we are cutting up an onion. Here we are, still cutting up an onion. And we're going to cut up some celery. And it's an important part of the recipe in terms of walking through it. But I think it might be turning people off. I also don't know whether I should put the captain first, because I think I tried that with one video, or one video I didn't put the captain at all, and I didn't see any difference in attractiveness. So what we want to do here is find some. I already put the footage into the Premiere Pro timeline. I don't have the captain introducing it, so let's go find the captain. I saw him a minute ago. Where did the captain go? Captain chicken one pot pasta. There we are. There's the captain talking, saying how great it's going to taste. So we'll put him at the beginning. We'll put, so here we're serving it out. Here we've got it in a plate. And here we've got it in a plate. So we'll take this and we'll make a copy of it so that we don't lose the original, and put this at the beginning. We don't need an audio track. You're gone. And let's center it a little bit. Now, again, if I'm going to start doing AI pictures for my thumbnails, then that changes things a little bit. So how many seconds is this? This is 20 seconds. So we don't need 20 seconds of this, because I've got to then be talking while this is, okay, we're twirling. I can't believe I actually got a good twirl out of that. I'm not a great twirler. I like my pasta small. So this is how many seconds? 9 seconds. And then we'll put in some of the cooking. But I was going to do more than one cooking. Usually I put in 5 seconds of cooking. So let's, is this interesting? Okay, so this is interesting because it's got some nice colors. Okay, we'll do this one. Put him at the beginning. But again, we'll make a copy of it so we don't lose it accidentally when we're not watching. And instead of having one cooking, I'm going to do several cookings. How many seconds is this? So this is 8 seconds. Okay, we'll stop it. There we've got some action there. We're going to leave the sizzle in. Hopefully the sizzle will entice people to stick around. And we're going to let's try to get the green to look better here. So we're into the Luminato thing here, and they've got a set of curves here, and one of the curves is hue versus saturation. So let's go with green and saturate the hell out of the green. I don't know, does that look any better? Yeah, it's a little bit greener. Let's go this way. A little bit greener. That's not bad. I like that. I like that. The hey Powder, thank you for coming by. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you before. Appreciate the visit. Not subscribed to you, but I will come back and look at it. Your stuff's a year old, but we'll come back and look at it later on. Chris, thank you for coming by. We'll give you a wrench, network a bit if you wish. Okay, so now we've got some of this cooking. And as I said, the challenge is I've got to do some talking here while this is happening. When I did the beans, somebody made us saying that I didn't talk enough. So we're going to talk a little bit more this time around. Okay, so we've got that. We've got that. And then what are we going to do? Okay, we're going to put some noodles in. Putting in the noodles, putting in the noodles. I like this one, putting in the noodles. Let's make a copy of that again so that we don't lose it. Okay, we only want a few seconds, right? So there we are. We don't want, there's 8 seconds. Let's make it a little bit, zoom out just a hair. There you are. Okay, so this gives us 24 seconds of, because if you look at your, let's just insert that. If you look at your analytics, it always tells you that how many people are watching or how many people have abandoned it within 30 seconds. Okay, so there is 22 seconds. And so we're going to have the captain talk now. I can't remember what the captain said. Let's listen to him. Lights are shining in my face. Let's zoom out just a little bit. Let's start there. So this is what, let's see what the captain says.
Another one-pot adventure. Start with some chicken and keep adding stuff until it tastes delicious. Let's start the pot cooking.
Okay, so that's...
That was amazing. And only one pot to clean up.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to work on this first. We're going to... let's leave the green here for now. We'll take the green out later once we've figured out what we're doing. So cut that there. And we're actually going to take the let's cook and do it separately. Let's move it to the beginning. Okay, stick that in there. We'll move that down so we have our sound effects there and we'll have our audio here. So the question becomes, do we put the captain? Okay, so we're going to take that and put it here. Let's move him to the beginning. But here we're going to take this. So basically, it's going to go sizzle, sizzle, sizzle.
Let's start the pot cooking.
And then we're going to get into cutting up the onion, right? So that's going to be here. Captain. Okay, we don't really need peeling the onion. That is kind of boring. Although I was watching somebody else's cooking show, and she did spend like 30 seconds peeling the onion. And I assume people watched it. Or maybe they didn't. But let's get rid of this guy. Reveal. It is file number 194. Your toast. You're gone. File number 194 is... I don't know where file number 194 is. Oh, it's right at the beginning, right? So we don't need that one anymore. Okay, now... I don't know why it's out of focus there. Camera was reaching.
Start the pot cooking.
Okay, let's take out a few seconds of this dead air here. Bring that in there. We'll do our normal thing here with the cross zoom. So this is the captain. Okay. We don't need that. We can start here where we cut the knife into the onion first. So we don't need to have that much boring stuff. So here, this is now 32 seconds when it starts getting boring, the cutting of the onion. And hopefully people will hang around long enough to...
One powdered Benjamin. Start with some chicken.
But that's not true because I'm going to... I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. See, if he starts talking, then I can't show this for my titles. Okay, let's move him around. Okay, we're going to have some music.
Another one powdered Benjamin. Start with some chicken and keep adding stuff until it tastes delicious.
Okay. Now maybe...
Start with some chicken and keep adding stuff until it tastes delicious.
And hopefully I'll find something to talk about. Maybe this is too long. So now we're only 24 seconds. There's 30 seconds there. Bring that in here.
Let's start the pot cooking.
Okay, so I'm going to have some sound, some talking under here, but we'll record that when we record the rest of the voiceover. Okay, so now let's see what we've got next. So next we're going to chopping up some onion. We don't need all that chopping of an onion. Okay, we're going to save that. So how many seconds of this? So my question becomes, we're starting with this stupid onion. Okay, let's do the chicken first. I like that. So we've got some chicken. Where am I cutting up the chicken? Chicken is more exciting than onion. So instead of doing that, so here, it's cooked. So here, let's take the chicken. And we're going to start with cutting up some chicken. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's onion. Where'd my piece of chicken go? Hello, chicken. Celery. Chicken. And we're going to there we're putting in the onion. So here we're cutting up chicken. Let's do the chicken first because the chicken is more interesting than onion. Where do we start with the chicken? So let's go here. We're going to take one chicken breast, cut it in half, and cut. Okay, how many seconds of chicken cutting are we have here? Okay, let's change the speed. We'll make it 160%, 150%. Why not? Let's not get too. So now we're down to 15 seconds. Ooh, still 26 seconds. Okay, we don't need that much of that. And let's cut off a bunch here. 20 seconds. 20 seconds of chicken cutting. We're still up to the first 30 seconds. We're starting to get into some boring food there. So let's, okay, now we're going to put the chicken, add some oil to the pan. And we can dump in the chicken, mix it around. Not sure why I'm using a spoon instead of a spatula. Okay, cut that off. We don't need the spoon is sitting there. Let's save this. And we're mixing the chicken up. And I've got that tripod is too wobbly because it's letting look at the difference as it's going through here. It's moved over a little bit, but okay, we'll fix that later. Okay, now we're adding some garlic powder and mixing it up. There's my trusty spatula. Okay, we don't need the dead action, no action of the chicken just roasting there, barbecue. Okay, what's next? Now we're going to cut up some onion. And we're putting that in a bowl. 17 seconds. Why is that so slow? Okay, let's zoom that out. Okay, and there we are. We're putting that in a bowl. Pardon me. Somewhere there's a drink of water here. What happened to my drink of water? There's my drink of water. Okay, so now after we've got the onion cut up, we're going to mix it in with the chicken. So here we're there, and now we're going to do this. We're going to need to take rid of the first 2 seconds of this. Okay. Okay, we don't need that. Good, down to 4 seconds. And there we are. Put that in, mix it around. Okay, how many seconds is that? 13 seconds, that's pretty good. And now what do we got next? We got cutting up some celery. I like the taste of the celery. I don't know. I bought this for something else, maybe a salad. And figure it's good in a chicken dish. And it adds a lot of nice color. Cut that off there. Bring that together. So there we are with, yeah, we don't need to have all that. That's so slow, like watching paint dry. Let's move it over, move it in. Did I have a cut on my finger in this one? No. Hard to edit out a cut. Okay, so what do we got here? We've got 30 seconds of cutting up lettuce. Let's make it shorter. Now we're down to 22 seconds. We'll speed it up to 150%. Does it still look good? Still looks good. Okay, sound is still good. Okay, and we're going to put that in a dish. Five seconds. Let's move that over. Again, the beauty of shooting in 4K and editing in HD, you got a lot of room to move stuff. Okay, so now let's get rid of the first half a second. And we're mixing that around. And we're throwing in the celery. There's the end of the action. And now what do we have? Okay, some tomatoes. So I guess I never did anything with the tomatoes, right? They were just, they weren't cut up. They were just thrown in whole. I guess they were just thrown in whole. So we'll mention that in the dialogue that this time we're not going to cut up the tomatoes. I usually cut up the tomatoes so that the juice runs out quickly, but this is going to cook for a few minutes. And I think the tomatoes ended up being a very nice, soft. What are we doing here? Okay, let's get rid of that. Hey, Superior Warrior, thank you for coming by. I haven't seen you in a whole 3 days. Okay, we're mixing this around. So we're editing another cooking show, and we're going to try to change the intro around so that it's more exciting. Now, I'm not 100% sure what more exciting means, but Instead of starting off with spending 30 seconds cutting up an onion, we're going to just do beginning, middle, and end of the cooking process and have the captain talking about it. Okay, that's that. And now we're going to make a hole in the... Hey, Caesar Mocha, thank you for coming by. Appreciate the attention. Love you here. I love you here. Okay, we're putting in some onion. We made a hole in the chicken and vegetable mixture. Let's go zoom out just a little bit so we get the whole thing, a nicer picture of it. I saw somebody that made this recipe, and these were nice round little nests of noodles. Hey, down home, Misty, thank you for coming by. Yeah, I haven't been to your channel in a while. I'll make a note to do that. Let me give you a wrench. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, so as I say, I saw somebody do a similar recipe with nice round little nodules of noodles, and it looked very pretty. I guess here we're a little bit more industrial, right? Because we're cooking on a boat, or conceptually cooking on a boat, and we want to be pretty, but pretty is not the most important. Okay, so there we are. Let's zoom out enough so we can see what, half a cup, a whole cup, 2 cups. Can't remember how much this is. I have to look at the recipe to see how much chicken broth we put in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I thought it was 4. 36 seconds of putting in pouring in chicken broth. Seems a long time, but then again, I'm looking for watch hours, and I do want people to watch for a little bit, and I'm getting some decent percentages of videos being watched. The beans, somebody, I think it was a 5-minute video, and people have been watching 2.5 minutes of it, so I'm appreciative of that. We're going to leave it covered, and we're going to cook it for 6 minutes. I'm pretty sure I said that, because that's how long these noodles were supposed to take. Does this look any good? Yeah, it looks okay. I like that. Yeah, thanks, sir, Mister. Yeah, I spent years as a food photographer, and I look at the food now when I'm trying to cook it and talk about it and photograph it, and I'm disappointed in some of my my pictures. I need an art director. Okay, now we're mixing this up, letting it cook. Basically, we're checking to make sure that the noodles are covered with the broth. We're adding a quarter teaspoon of red pepper flakes, because I like the taste. Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate that. The last week when we had this online conversation, we talked about creating AI food, and some of the AI looking images are so good. Okay, we're mixing that around. Okay, so that's mixed up. Now, what are we doing here? I can't remember what I did here. What the heck was I doing here? It's been a couple of weeks since I did this, and I've lost track of what. That salt? I don't think it was too salty, but I think we're putting in a whole tablespoon of salt, and that should be too salty. Yeah, that's salt. That's salt, right? Yeah, that's the salt container. Um, okay, we'll start where we've got some action. I know one recipe was too salty, and this guy wasn't. But so it's not a whole tablespoon; it's half a tablespoon. Okay, I can live with that. This one wasn't salty. Something else I made way too salty. Hey Flo, thank you for coming by. Really appreciate that. We'll see you on your live or somewhere else on the interweb. Okay, so we're mixing it around. And we're mixing it around. And so there we are. Again, we're making sure that it's covered with, the noodles are covered in the broth because they have to cook. Yeah, so normally, if I was cooking just to cook, not cooking for the record, I wouldn't put any salt in at all. I'd put the salt in at the end. I'm supposed to be on a low, reduced salt diet anyway, so some of what I make for myself is a bit on the bland side. But if I'm cooking for the record and sort of developing a recipe at the same time, then I think it does need a little bit of salt. The question is always, yeah, how much is a little bit? Okay, so now we're going to put some bay leaves in. And these are not bad bay leaves. I picked the biggest ones out of the bag. The I was talking about taking food photography. I was photographing for Uber, and I was in an Indian restaurant, and the bay leaves were like this. They were like 7 inches long, huge bay leaves, and I took a picture of them for their menu because it sort of promotes the spice, the unique spice taste. And I took a couple of them home, and they did have a wonderful flavor. So they were obviously provided by their ingredient purveyor, um, not not the kind that we'd find in the grocery store here. Okay, let's leave it cooking for another few minutes. Again, I like putting the bay leaves in early so that the flavor soaks all the way through. Now we're going to taste it. You know, tasting is, if you're eating it yourself, then you can double dip. But if you're cooking for somebody else, you don't want to double dip on the taste. Okay, so now, okay, so I guess I left the bay leaves in. I guess I took the bay leaves out right at the very last because I don't want to serve the bay leaves. They're crunchy and they're weird. And I saw something on YouTube or TikTok where somebody was complaining that there was these big leaves in their food, and it was actually just the bay leaves. But the chef, the cook, hadn't taken them out, so we're adding some. What am I doing here? Adding some spinach. Zoom out just a hair. And we're going to mix that in so that it's covered by the noodles so that it cooks. We don't want the spinach to cook for more than a minute or so because we do want it to have some texture. We don't want it to turn into just mush. End of the action. I'm putting the lid on again. Yeah, let's leave the lid. Doesn't need to be more than a couple of seconds, 2 seconds. problem with this stupid lid is it has a logo on it somewhere. And I want to sell some of this as stock photography, but not allowed logos because of people's copyrights. So I've got to buy a lid that has no logo built into it. Oh, thank you, down home. It looks pretty. It tastes good too. I've done it with shrimp. I might do it again with shrimp because I've got a bunch of shrimp that are crying out for something to be made out of them. Now we're adding some cream. Let's just zoom out just a hair. Wonder how long this video is. 7 minutes? Okay, this is nice. It's going to be I want it to be 8 minutes long. There's my cream. Okay. So I recorded 2 clips of this. I don't think I need them. But I do want to record the closing of the lid. So this is 82%. No, yeah, 82%. Let's make this 82 as well and see if it lines up. If not, then we'll fix the alignment of the images. As I say, the stupid tripod is a little bit too flaky. Tripods have to be heavy. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's a little bit, a tiny bit of movement there. The heavier the tripod, the better. Yeah, we're up to 10 minutes, so this is longer than I need it to be. So we can take out some of the boring part where we're... Okay, I'm picking out the bay leaves. We don't need them all. We need the very first one. So where is the very first bay leaf? When did I find one? There, I found one there. I don't need to, I think there were 6 bay leaves in here. I don't need to find them all. Okay, there's... Hello, bay leaf. Come on. Where's my bay leaf? There's one there. Okay, so that's enough of bay leaf scavenging. And then we serve it out. And this is one reason I'm not a fan of long noodles. They're hard to serve. They're hard to eat. They make weird pictures. But I wanted this thing that was in nests. Okay, let's cut it there. We don't need a whole minute of serving this out. It doesn't get any better. The dish isn't quite full, but that'll do. And now we're going to put that here. Gonna have a bite there. Gonna have a bite. Okay, I like the twirly one, so let's get rid of this guy. I do like the look of twirling. What number is he? 225, 225. That's delete. Yes, you're gone. 225. Where's 225? 224, 225. Don't need him anymore. And okay, let's move that there. There we are. Okay, so now what happened to the captain? What happened to the captain? So there's the captain talking about how good it was.
And only one part to clean up.
Oh, thanks down home. I love that, Misty. Thank you for your kind words. The so there's the captain, and now we're going to take a minute to stuff to do the rest of the ingredients. But we're at 8 minutes and 24 seconds. So that's nice and long. I think we'll take out some of the chopping of the the onion, because that's really, really boring, and try to have enough action to keep people watching in the first few seconds of the video. So this captain is recorded in front of a green screen, but in the video he's going to be sitting in the back of the boat. So let's open a recent project and see. We'll steal it from this one. So this one, there's a bunch of things that we want. We want the this wavy thing here. We want this. This is something new that I'm trying here with the seagull flying overhead. So keep that one, keep that one. The graphics for the ingredients list. Take that, a single ingredient, and this silly seagull. Let's copy that, and we'll paste it into the other project, so we don't have to reinvent it. It's like a template. And let's paste it in here. Very good. So this is the captain speaking. This is the ingredient list. Let's just bring this right up against here. This is the let's do the cross dissolve, cross zoom of the captain. Line that up. Bring that to the middle. And then bring that in here. And where is my seagull? And my seagull. Oh, that has to be closer, right? So I don't know if that is a more attractive extra outro than just the captain speaking. So here, this is obviously not the right list of ingredients. Do I have my list of ingredients already? I did not make my list of ingredients. So I wonder why I don't have my list of ingredients. I got the fettuccine. I wrote that down, but I don't have the rest of my ingredients. Okay, so we'll have to develop that. And so this will be the ingredients, right? So these are the wrong ingredients. And now, so we got 8 minutes. We can cut out some of the other stuff. But let's go find the title, the introductory titles, and see how that's going to work into my 30 seconds of intro. Beans, the vegetable fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. So this is a title. And let's bring this in while we're here. That's the, please like, comment, and subscribe. The again, thanks, Misty. Thanks. You know, I I do like talking out loud and appreciate anybody anybody listening, because it gives me an opportunity to convince myself, close quotes, of how I want this to roll out. Okay, so this guy, we want somewhere here to get people to subscribe. How about we'll put it right there? And then our titles, we want hey, come on, here. So it's not Trillionaire Franken Beans. This is, what is it? It's one pot pasta. Do I want the word chicken in here? Like in my mind, I call it one pot chicken pasta. I guess chicken, it will get people to click on it if they want one pot cooking. And it's a pan, not a pot, but the reason I use a pan is because I don't want to have more than one utensil on the boat, taking up space, having to be cleaned. Okay, so what do we got here? We got one pot chicken pasta. Let's stretch this out until it gets to the captain. Oh, there's the captain there. We don't want the words over the captain's face. So that's that. We're going to bring this piece here of the captain sitting in the back of the boat. Where is that? There we are. Cross zoom, put that in there. Bring that in just a hair. Okay, oh yeah, we forgot this. Okay, so now we're going to, this is shot in a green screen. Let's use what Adobe calls Ultra Key to remove the green. Basically make the green transparent. Aggressive, always, because I got light green and dark green. And that's before we do that. Let's get rid of that. Before we do that, I don't think I'm bright enough, right? So I'm not going to get sophisticated enough to get out there and look for the waveform monitor, see how white that hat is. But I am going to make them a bit brighter. There we are. And now I'm going to bring in my Ultra Key, because it, if I put them in the wrong order, it screws up the color green. And we want the color to be fixed first, and then we want the green screen to be applied. And let's pick dark. Okay, there we are. See, so now we can see the back of the boat. We're just going to check to make sure that it's a nice clean key. It's not. So the first thing we can do is pick a different color. Now it's worse on that side. Worse on that side. There we are. If I was against a wall, then a shadow would be nice, but there are no shadows against the water. So what we're going to do is we're just going to change one little parameter here, pedestal, black level. There we are. Okay, still a little bit of gray here. the first version they had of this, you could choose two different greens, two different colors. Now they've changed it to be you can't choose more than one. So a little bit dark here, but I don't think it looks okay. I mean, there isn't a shadow on the water, is there? Let's take this and apply the same thing here. Where is the captain again? Here's the captain again. And let's go back to the other one. Let's go back to the other one and pick the Ultra key and apply it to here as well. And then take this, apply it there. This has to go up. This has to go here. Effects, cross zoom. Where are you, cross zoom? Here, and here, and here, and there we are. So that's.
Let's start the.
Okay, this is too much zoom, so let's take that out.
Let's start the pot cooking.
I don't know if I really want that guy there. I think it might be redundant to have that there. Let's go back here and choose the luminosity setting and apply that to the captain at the back here. Ooh, way too bright. Way too bright. What happened here? I can't believe that doesn't make any sense at all. Let's go and apply that so that we get the captain sitting in the boat. There's the captain sitting in the boat. And let's get a cross zoom here. Perfect, perfect. So that is we're 8 minutes and 51 seconds long. It really depends on how long it takes me to read this list of ingredients, because that gets in this area right here. And then I've got to describe what I'm doing. And my challenge is I'm going to try to talk for most of this 8 minutes. I'm going to try to fill it with talking, as opposed to just scraping this. What I'm going to say about scraping this, it's I'm going to get people to stick around if they hear me talking. So that's where we're at. Thank you guys for coming by. Everybody down home, Flo, M&M, Mr. Russian. Appreciate everybody coming by. Let's just come back and as much of that fun as we're going to have. Let's just come back here, and I'm going to stop the edit program. We don't need it anymore. Do I want to save it? Of course I want to save it. And I want to save my chat here. Live. What day is today? Folder 2025 1113. Edit one pot. Save that so we don't have to go back to it. And that's really it. So this should go live tomorrow. I've got to do some photography for a project I'm doing for Adobe that is a higher priority in terms of it's got a deadline, whereas YouTube, the deadline is totally at my own setting, and then I'm gonna try to go live though in the morning with this particular recipe. So again, thank everybody for coming by and watching. I'm going to press the X button on this, and you're gone. Yes, I want to stop streaming.